Hey everyone, Mike McClelland coming to you. As you can see, we're standing here beside Grand Lake. We're at the finale of the PAA series this year. I'm in a situation where I've got to catch them this week to qualify for the Toyota Texas Bass Classic next spring on Lake Fork. And you know, everybody out there kind of thinks that all we do is jump in the boat, go fishing, catch bass, you know, drag them across the stage, make a ton of money, and there's a lot more that goes into it. Every tournament that we go to, there's a certain amount of preparation that I as an angler have to do to get ready. So if you've ever wondered what we do to get ready, or the next time you need to get ready, jump on board and take a look at my preparation before I get ready to fish a tournament. You know, there's a ton of stuff that goes into tournament preparation, and as you can see, I mean, I've kind of got a mess here. But every tournament you get ready to fish, you've got to break down your practice. You've got to figure out what you're going to do for each particular tournament event, and then you've got to prepare yourself to go fish that event with the proper stuff. So, you know, as you can see, I've got all of my line laid out here. I've got baits that I've got to reorganize and sort out specific baits that I want to throw in the tournament. And I've got my rods and reels here that I'm going to rig up. A lot of guys, you know, think that we're constantly carrying 20 or 25 rods with us when we go out for any particular tournament event, and that isn't necessarily always the case. I'm not going to say that I don't have 20 or 25 rods with me this week, but now that I've spent 3 days of practice, and now that I've kind of narrowed down what I feel like is going to be the key things for me to do this week, I only want to rig about 8 or 10 rods to get ready for a specific tournament event. One thing I've always said is the fewer rods that you have laying on the deck, the better opportunity you have to win. When you have a game plan and you're only going to throw 2 or 3 different baits through the course of a tournament, your odds of doing well are probably a lot better than that guy that's going to throw 10 or 15 different baits through the course of the day. I always say the fewer rods, the better you're on them. So I've fished for 3 days now here. I've narrowed it down to the fact that I'm going to do about 4 different things this week. I'm going to throw a buzz bait. I'm going to throw a 3/8 ounce War Eagle buzz bait first thing in the morning. As the sun gets up and depending on whether the wind blows or not, I'm going to mix in a 1/2 ounce War Eagle spinnerbait in a variety of colors and blade combinations. I'm going to throw, you know, nickel gold, gold nickel. I'm going to throw some War Eagles that have rattles on the blades. I'm going to try to cover a lot of water. I'm going to work in a Spro Fat John as part of my arsenal. And then if the conditions don't favor moving baits, there's really only one other bait that I'm going to depend on, and that's going to be a little 1/2 ounce brown round rubber jig, and I'm going to really grind. I'm going to get into the thick of it, and I'm going to fish around boat docks and lay down logs if the fish aren't wanting to bite a moving bait. So, you know, you really don't have to rig that many rods. One of the biggest things that I want to do is I want to have a backup. If I break something off and I need to grab another rod quick, I want to have a backup in hand. I want to have a number of different things, but one of the most important thing is the line that you're using on your rods. And a lot of guys struggle sometimes to spend the money on fluorocarbon fishing lines, and I'm not saying fluorocarbon is for everything, but changing line and making sure the line that you've got on your rod is really important. But the key to it is if you buy a good quality fluorocarbon fishing line, you don't have to change it every time you hit the water. My rule of thumb is I generally always change my line the day before a tournament starts. I use the same line throughout the course of a tournament event through the next practice period, and then when a tournament starts again, then I change line again. So really, you spend a little bit in the front end, or maybe you spend a little more than you want to, but a good quality fluorocarbon fishing line is going to get you more than a day's fishing time. So that's pretty much what I'm looking to do when I start preparing for a tournament, making sure all my rods are in order. Some of the rods I won't change line on if I haven't thrown them a lot during the course of the tournament. One little trick that I like to do is stretching line. You know, I'll cut my bait off of a particular rod that I haven't used a lot, and basically tie a loop knot in the line, and I'll hook it onto a cleat of my boat. I'll pull the line out, click the reel over, engage it, hold pressure on the reel, and stretch the line out. And the key to it is once you stretch it, unhook it from the boat cleat, and wind it in so it can take the twists and coils that are created from throwing a lure over and over through the course of the day. That's probably one of the biggest reasons a lot of guys change line, is to take those, twists and coils out of the equation, and you can simply do that by stretching line. So the next time you get ready to prepare for a tournament, just remember you don't have to change line every single day if you're using a good quality fluorocarbon line like Sunline.